Hey guys, Alex here from alexfergus.com, reporting in with my July 500 meter rowing update, journey, progress, report, whatever you want to call it. So I'll give you a quick rundown of my training, body, and any interesting things that happened this month. And then I will be doing another 300 meter sprint, 300 meter race in the second half of this video. So in that 300 meter, we're hoping to break, well, I've already equaled the New Zealand record. Now today I want to break it and hold it outright. So we'll talk about that soon. So anyway, this month has been another good month of training. Yeah, overall good month. Like numbers have been going up. Pretty much I've got about 12 different interval rowing sessions. And every time I do one, I just look back at my past average time and try better. Simple as that. And I just rotate them. So, you know, I'm doing one each month, sometimes one every second month type thing, and then that way it keeps it fresh. Because if I was doing the same session over and over, like every 2 or 3 weeks, you know, it starts wearing you down, especially if some of them are really tough interval sessions and you think I got to do this again next week. So it's been working well. I think there's only been once when I didn't better my time, and that was post sickness a while back, so that was cool. So that system's been working really good. 2 sessions I did, not last week, today's a Monday, not last week, the week before, were probably 2 of the most toughest sessions. Well, one was the toughest session I've done all year, and the other one was the most painful session I've done perhaps ever. I swear to God, it was nuts. So I'll talk about them as well. Let's talk about the weights first. So knee is still not quite 100%. It's better. I was actually doing 200 kilo deadlifts, low bar deadlifts. So knee was, obviously, it's come a long way, because I used to be getting pain just doing, like, you know, 100 kilo deadlifts. But the thing is, I still get a bit of pain, like even warming up, you feel it. But it's better. Like the strength is there and I can push through it, and it's not like, oh, this is dodgy. So we're tracking up, which is good. I've got a 45-minute osteo appointment this week, so that'll be good to see what he thinks of it. But yeah, so that is good. Strength though, those squats feel tough. Like I've done 250 kilo squats before, and those 200 are like, oh gosh, this is heavy. But anyway, we'll just keep chipping away, so that's good. Upper body, things are going good. I'm going to make a bit of a tweak with the diet side of things. So pretty much all year I've just been on a total, what you call bulk diet, just eating as much as I can. And the best way for me to do that was, I was eating big meals, but then every evening after my kids were down and, you know, the house was quiet and stuff, I'd just sit down and have a massive dessert. It was typically ice cream and then whatever I could throw in, banana, protein powder, cream, dates, whatever I had. And I've been doing that for 6 months, to the point where I'm sort of sick of ice cream. But I was doing that. I think now I'm going to cut back a little bit on that, because you might be thinking, oh, this is crazy, like, but I'm not really enjoying those meals. It's just more to get extra food in. But I'm up to about 106, 107 kilos. So that's the heaviest I've ever been. But I've also noticed I've put on a bit more fat. Like I'm probably the fattest I've ever been as well at the same time. So it's been good, that extra food, because it's supported my training and recovery. But now I'm kind of like, all right, you know, the numbers are up there. The body fat's a little bit higher than I'd really like. So I'm just going to ease back on that meal and maybe only have that like reload ice cream meal on days I've done a big training, or perhaps the day before a big training, depending on how I feel. So what I'll do is, I've actually been tracking my body fat and weight, so I don't have it with me now, but maybe in next month's video we'll show some graphs and stuff on what's going on there. Next thing is the POWERbreathe. I don't have it with me. I have been using that, and I have started plotting some numbers on an Excel spreadsheet. That is all trending up. The last few days I've been going backwards. It's really weird. I'm still trying to get my head around that device. I have recorded a bit of a first impressions video that may be up by the time this is up, so I'll put a link to it below. If not, subscribe and you'll see more about that, but I'll do a full review on that later on in there. I will be using that as part of my warm-up routine today. I do think, yeah, it helps with that warm-up side of things, especially on these really cold days. I'm sitting in the sauna, by the way, just to help get the lungs and diaphragm sort of alive, so to speak, online. I'm also using the Kaatsu Device here. You can probably hear it. Sorry, the sound isn't the best. I'm using this most days, and I've noticed some interesting changes with this. I mentioned my body fat is higher than I think I don't know, 23, 24% according to the Tanita scales. But since I've been using this, I've actually started noticing, like, because I only use it on my legs, I don't use the arm ones. I've noticed that like my leg definition is more pronounced, even though my body fat, and I've only changed my diet the last few days, been using this for a month now, it's more pronounced. And then I noticed like there's a few more like veins and stuff that you can sort of feel and see on the surface of the skin, or under the skin obviously. So yeah, it's interesting. Like a few times I've seen in the mirror, I'll be like, huh. I used to bodybuild, so I kind of know what my quads look like when they're lean. I've seen a few little lines and cuts that I haven't noticed for a long time. So whether it's this, I'm not too sure. Because again, I'm still holding plenty of body fat, but that's one thing I've noticed. I am still using this on a daily basis, and then also as a warm-up, and then also with some training sessions, which we'll talk about soon. So that's all the training. Sleep's been pretty good. No big issues this month. So yeah, a good month. Now, the 2 training sessions I mentioned. So the first one was an interval session, which I call my Fergus hundreds, or Fergie's hundreds. I'm going to call it that. And this is 1,800 meter sprints with decreasing rests. And the full breakdown, if anyone wants to see it, let me know. I can put it in the show notes below. Otherwise, I have posted it over at the Concept 2 forum log that I'm running, as well as this video. And so you start off with 3-minute rest, then it goes to 2-minute rest, then 90 seconds, then a minute, then 40 seconds. And I think for the last 3 or 4 of the 1,800 meters you're doing, there's only 20-second rest. So it gets very intense, very, very intense. I've done it twice, and both times are brutal. The most recent time though, I had a new max heart rate, 187 I think. Previously I'd only seen 186. So that was interesting, and yeah, I was toast. Like, it was tough. But what's really interesting is both times I've done it, the average pace, the average split, the average wattage for those 1,800 meter intervals has pretty much been in line with my with my 500 meter at that time for that month. So that's quite interesting. So it's a great training session. I designed it because I wanted to simulate that last 100 meters in a 500 meter. You know, when you're absolutely max heart rate, you're burning, you're down and out, and you need to hold on, right? And that's how I designed it, especially as those rests go shorter and shorter. And the idea is you're just trying to hold on. You're not trying to crash. Unfortunately, in the most recent time I did it, I did crash quite bad on the last 1 or 2. But I still had a really good average overall, because for the other 16 sprints, I was doing quite well. But yeah, I was toast after that. Like, I was stuffed. It was a good hour or so to recover after that, in terms of like even wanting to drink water and that. I was just like, oh my god, just leave me alone. So that was interesting. And then a few days later, I did a Kaatsu interval, and that's where I was wearing these bands. I'm in my undies, so I won't show you, but wearing the bands around my legs at a constant pressure, and I was doing a 200 meter sprint, 30-second rest, 200 meter sprint, 8-minute rest, and that was 1 round, and I'll do that 3 times. In that 8-minute period, I took them off, so I was only wearing it for my 30-second, my 200 meters event. And the idea is you're sort of restricting blood flow in a way, so you get that lactic acid burn. Or first you notice a decrease in power, like the initial big strokes. It's just not the same pop, and that's to be expected. But then secondly, like, you notice that fatigue sets in a lot earlier, and the body, there's a lot of benefits because you get that lactic acid and hormonal benefits a lot earlier without having to put massive watts through the machine type thing. So that's the idea behind it. So you're not expecting great numbers at the time. You're doing it more for the biological response and the training effect you'll get from it. But anyway, so the number. So yeah, what I was noticing is the first repeat, the 200s. Yeah, like I was the first round. Sorry, the 200. Yeah, you're burning. You take them off. You feel okay. You get back on. And yeah, you just notice that accumulation of lactic acid. It's just getting worse and worse. The last round, I was struggling. It was like, wow, this is really starting to hurt. And so you sort of shorten up the stroke and do all those sort of things. Get off, and I'm like, wow, that was sore. But then what was interesting is I come over and crash on my crash mat over here, and the pain just got worse and worse. Instead of being like, all right, we're finished. You know, the pain's up here, sort of peaking like the few 20 seconds after the row. We're like, oh my God. And then it slowly comes back down. This was like crashed. Heart rate, boom, 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 sweating, you know, chest, everything, dry mouth, all that sort of stuff. Legs are burning. Oh gosh, you know, I'm up here. But what was interesting, like the heart rate sort of settled, the mouth came back online, breathing came back online and slowly. But the leg pain just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm talking like 10, 15 minutes of agony, like incredible agony. I was swearing, I was rolling around, I was holding things, I was like biting down on things. The pain was nuts. And I couldn't get comfortable. I tried my legs up against the wall, I tried crawling over, I tried standing up, but that just made it worse. Like I walked to the other side of the gym, that just made it worse. I went back, I lied. It was bad, like it was horrible. I'm glad there was no one around. Like sometimes my kids are out here and it would have been bad. I'm sure they would have thought I was dying. And at one point I thought, is this ever going to stop? Because it just, like I said, it just got worse. I swear to God, it probably peaked about 5 to 8 minutes after the row, like in terms of the worst pain. Yeah, it was not fun. It was really not fun. So I hope that I had an epic training response from that, training effect from that, because I went through hell to get there. So yeah, so these bands are really interesting though. I'll definitely keep using them and I'll have to do some more videos on them later. In fact, I'm even tempted to film some of my workouts now because like, yeah, that probably would have made really good viewing, especially because it's a little bit different with the bands. So who knows, maybe stay tuned for them. All right, so today we're doing the 300 meters. I'm gonna do my warm up now and then get into it. Last time I hit 44.1, which was an average of 881 watts. Today I want to break a 900 watt average, which would be awesome, which would put me at 43.8. So the main goal is, I've got 3 goals. The first one is to break the New Zealand record and have it all on my own, which would be a 44 flat. If I get that, it'll be good, but ideally I want to break 44 seconds, so that would be 43.9. And then the ultimate would be to break or to hold a 900 watt average, which would be 43.8 or better, which is a 1:13 pace for 300 meters. All right, I've smashed it. 43.4 seconds. So that's 0.7 seconds faster than my previous best, which is 0.7 seconds faster than the record, which is what I wanted. I wanted to be sub 44, smashed that. I wanted to be over 900 watts average, and I was 925, so smashed that. Pretty stoked. If you look in here, there's an average of 112.3 split. If we look at the graph, I had 12 big strokes there at the start and then wanted to settle in for just holding 900s, and then at 100 meters I wanted a big 4 and then hold. It's just crazy how fast it's over. Like I did the big 12, I'm like, all right, 200 to go, and then holding, drop below 900 a few times, get it back up, oh shit, 100 to go, big 4, 70 to go, and it's just awesome. It was real good. I'm real stoked with that. So if we look at the splits here, first split 14.1, which is actually equals my 100 meter time, so that's pretty cool. 14.5 and then 14.7, so not too bad of a spread there. Yeah, no, I'm stoked. Yeah, stoked with that. Really stoked. So happy days. It's another step. I can't remember what I said last month or 2 months ago. I said there was a goal. I figured if I'm doing 850 at a 500, 850 watts for 500, I need to be doing X for 300. I think I said 950, but I reckon it needs to be 1,000. I'm gonna write that down. 1,000 watts. I reckon I need to hold 1,000 watts for a 300. So based on that, I just did one split for 1,000, the other two were well off. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It means everything's going good, everything's going in the right direction. Massive time, massive improvement actually. 881 I was before, now 925 watts, so 40 watts extra. And to be honest, it felt good. Like, there's still more, there's still heaps more, I know. So, all right, well, I'll see you next month, and I'll be doing the big one again, 500. I get nervous and it's still a whole month away. All right guys, bye.